Hey guys, it's Mr. H with A-Level Tech. This is just a very short video, basically giving you just not exactly a lesson per se, but more of a, try to stick it out, do the best you can, and a few tricks to deal with getting through some of the ATech trainer boards, especially when you're first starting off with the 1810, which there are 16 modules, and most of those modules will have a quiz or a test at the very end, into which you will find out they're not very forgiving. If you make too many mistakes, you have to start all over again. And it gets frustrating, and that is normal, and that is, I mean, it's more forgiving than an actual vehicle would be. Because if it was an actual vehicle, okay, you got the wrong thing, maybe you fried something, and the car is not going to tell you what you did wrong. It's not just like, hey, you know, the car just starts talking to you, hey, you actually should have tested this, it was this. It doesn't do that. So yes, it's frustrating, but it's necessary. So a couple of things with the ATech trainers is between Mr. C and I, we're going to try to bounce back and forth and help you guys out, especially as there's live work going down in the shop. So everyone has a chance to get just sort of a super concentrated dose of theory before just diving right back in. What I mean by theory is, no, our job is not to give you the answers and tell you what to do to actually get through these boards, but it's supposed to give you the idea of how do I take this math problem and how do I put this up here and transfer it to this? How does that make any sense? Well, it actually does. It makes perfect sense, because once we go through Ohm's law and how everything works out, what the one mistake I see students make is they get through the first maybe couple of modules, maybe 3 or 4 modules, and those are pretty much of a cakewalk for most students. And once they get to like the 4th and 5th module, that's when math is necessary, and they just don't realize it yet, and they get bogged down on some of the tests and the questions. So what does that mean? It means you start building some simple circuits, whether they're parallel or series circuits, from, you know, going from battery positive all the way down to ground. And what you need to realize is just because you start going down with your testing and stuff again, you just get one thing of like, oh, that's got to be high resistance, or oh, that's got to be, you know, short to power, short to ground, or whatever it is. You should back that up. You should be able to prove it. So the biggest thing I want to say is, no matter how easy it seems, no matter how much you think, oh, it's got to be this, get the numbers to back it up. So what I mean by that is, take your circuit, the circuit that you make, according to what ATech wants you to do, and make the math problem. Get all your numbers. Okay, so make it a math problem, solve it before you answer anything. So you know, okay, you know, resistor 3 or resistor 4, 5, 6, 7, whichever resistor it is, okay, there should be that much voltage drop between these two. It should be taking this much amperage. The circuit total amperage should be such and such. You should have all those numbers before you start even answering any of the questions on the test. It'll help you, because remember, these boards can be bugged. The circuits may still work. It just might be something minute, something really small that might be off, just one little number. And it throws a lot of kids off because they think, oh, it's got to be this. Meanwhile, it was a little bit before that in the circuit, and you just didn't realize it because you didn't get all your numbers. So the biggest thing, like I said, my job is not to give you the answers or tell you what you did wrong, or, you know, help you set up the boards. I mean, by all means, I'll help you guys and steer you in the best direction. But if I could tell every student who had trouble with this, the same thing, it would be, turn it into this, which you will get a crash course on. Get all your numbers, and I can guarantee it'll make it at least take half the stress off with trying to figure out where the fault is in the board, because at least you'll know these are what the numbers are supposed to be, and you're not playing a guessing game as to, well, it could be this, but, you know, it could be that. No, you have all your numbers, and it'll help you locate where the fault is. And if you go through those, at least if you can find where it is, then it gives you like the 4 or 5 options of what it can be. Usually 2 of those, just like in any test, you can rule it like, I didn't blow the fuse, so it can't be a short to ground or whatever. And you can rule it down to 2, and then from there, you know, do the best you can. But at least you got a fighting chance that way. I just wanted to give you guys, you know, a little bit of a direction, give you a little hope, because 161 is a tough course. it is brutal when it comes to some of the ATech trainer boards and all 16 of those modules you have to get to. It's not about rushing through the modules. It's about you understanding what's going on. If you rush through this, is it possible to get, an A or something out of the ATech trainers? Yeah, sure. But the purpose of the ATech trainer is so when you see a car, you remember tracing out this circuit on this board, okay, 5 seconds, boom. On a car, okay, ripping up interior and stuff like that, like Mr. C and I say, maybe 8 hours to trace out one circuit and get to everything when you're ripping a car apart. The idea is to take this, get it up here, and then be able to transfer it to a car so you can actually make the best use of your time, because even though it's not all about the money, you are on a time crunch to make money. So you want to do the right amount of testing, the correct way, and you get the correct answer as many times as possible. So take your time with these boards. Now, by all means, you don't just sit there and just stare at it, but it's more important that you understand and take away the theory of how you're getting the correct answers rather than just blowing through it as fast as you can. And that's the whole purpose of the theory you get here at Tennis in general. So I wish you guys the best of luck. Like I said, between Mr. C and I, we will try to help you as best as we can. It will still be brutal some days, but you're going to come away with a lot of knowledge. So that's all I have for you guys. I'm sorry it's not a tutorial. This is how you set up the board. This is how you fix this problem. No, that's not the purpose of this. It's pretty much, you're thrown in cold and you work your way through to learning the circuit yourself and learning how they work and where the faults are. But that's Mr. H with A-Level Tech. I hope you guys figure all this stuff out. I wish you the best of luck, and I'll see you next time.